Ambulances from the Egyptian side of the Rafah border crossing have been seen heading into Gaza. The reopening of the enclave's southern crossing marking a major step in the U.S. backed peace plan's second phase. Israel has kept it closed since its forces seized it in May 2024. But for the moment, the Rafah gate is only being used on a trial basis, and key details are still unclear. Many Palestinians have been waiting for this moment as they hope to head to Egypt for medical treatment. To discuss this further, I'm joined on set by our international affairs editor, Kethevane Gorjestani. Kethevane, welcome. So, what more details do we know at this time?
Well, look, COGAT, which is the Israeli army's body in charge of Palestinian affairs, called this reopening, partial reopening, an initial pilot phase that will be coordinated both with Egyptian authorities as well as EU officials. And the way it's going to work, and it's going to supposedly start really tomorrow, at first there will be only residents that will be allowed to leave or to come back in to Gaza, but not goods. So just people, mostly people in need of medical assistance. And that is why you're seeing those images of all those ambulances trying to get inside, because there is an estimated 20,000 people who are waiting to leave Gaza to get medical help that they cannot get within the enclave. And there are Palestinians who are on the Egyptian side who are hoping possibly to return to their homes. But there is a specificity for those Palestinians. It's just those people who left Gaza during the war, not Palestinians that may have left before October 7th. Now, the question is also how many people are going to be able to cross one way or the other going forward. There's no full agreement or information as to how many exactly will be allowed. The estimate right now, at least for the first few days, is likely to be 50 people or patients per day starting tomorrow, plus maybe a couple of relatives or helpers needed to help that injured person possibly cross over, and 50 people allowed to cross from Egypt into Gaza. Those numbers, if all goes well, are expected to be increased maybe in the next few days, maybe in the next few weeks. And eventually, there's also another thing to look out for is when the Israelis will allow the entry of the 15-member Palestinian technocratic body known as the National Committee for the Administration of Gaza, which was, of course, established by the ceasefire agreement and is tasked now with overseeing the sort of day-to-day operations in Gaza. It's unclear when they will be allowed inside the enclave. But of course, the reopening of the Rafah crossing, as well as this technocratic body being able to start its day-to-day work, those are two key elements of the ceasefire as it heads into the second phase.
And now, as this is happening, Israel's announced that it's putting an end to Doctors Without Borders operations in Gaza. What more can you tell us about that decision?
Well, this is supposedly going to happen by February 28th. So the Israeli authorities have told Doctors Without Borders, as well as other organizations, that they have until basically the end of the month to cease their operations. Where does that stem from? Back in December, Israel suspended Doctors Without Borders and 36 other NGOs because they were asking for new requirements to be fulfilled. And a lot of these NGOs were considering whether or not to comply with these requirements. What were those requirements? That organizations submit, in part, a list of their Palestinian employees. Israeli authorities were saying that this was to prevent Hamas and other militant groups from infiltrating, supposedly, those organizations. this is something that the Israelis have been saying for quite a while now, that a lot of these humanitarian organizations are actually infiltrated, or that the aid is diverted by Hamas, but have never given really any evidence of the sort of systemic control of Hamas over those organizations. The NGOs, including Doctors Without Borders, they replied that these rules were basically arbitrary because it wasn't just giving Israel the names of their Palestinian staff, but also there were rules about, well, if the organization expressed support for any ongoing international court case against Israel, that could be grounds for a ban. This is, of course, something that Doctors Without Borders said no to. That could have dire consequences because, as I said, not just Doctors Without Borders, but possibly a dozen other NGOs. They are the ones who are propping up medically, humanitarianly, what is happening in Gaza and helping those who need it the most.
Kethevane, thank you so much for keeping us updated. That's our international affairs editor, Kethevane Gorjestani.